I'm Satorix, and in this video we're illuminating the path of the priest class in Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery. I have well over 700 hours on this class alone, and I can tell you in the right hands she is a divine powerhouse. Let's get into it and talk about it. The priest excels at supporting from mid to long range, using the sacred powers that she has to heal her allies, conjure protective shields, and hinder her foes with divine crowd control like stuns and snares, all while wielding a scepter or a staff. But she is no stranger to the front lines either. Armed with a sword and shield, the priest can stand shoulder to shoulder with warriors, striking down enemies while continuing to uplift and protect her allies in the heart of battle. Using the glowing sanctum, your auto attacks will allow you to maximize mana regeneration to constantly control the battlefield for your and your team's advantage. The Beacon of Hope Scepter allows you to create holy sparks to increase your damage, and other synergies with gear allows you for increased movement speed as well to really make sure that you're everywhere in the fight that you need to be while still being able to dish out some damage effectively. And with the Star and Moon, you will excel at slowing your enemies with heavenly slashes to make sure you can maintain all of that precious damage you want. With Heaven's Fury, you are able to control a battlefield by summoning light to stun your enemies in an AoE range, allowing for your team to follow up and or to get away from whatever is trying to hurt them. With Gleaming and Guided Star, you can smite your enemies with powerful light that not only slows them down, also dealing a crazy amount of damage when used in conjunction with your Heaven's Fury. By exploding a star inside of your Heaven's Fury, it will guarantee a critical hit, allowing you to do some of the most spike damage the game has to offer. Spirit Shell allows you to dish out damage while also being protected by the holy light itself, and Ascend allows you to vertically rise into a tree out of any harm's way to make sure you can constantly position in a safe way during fights for yourself and or your teammates. The first and most important thing that I want to teach you about the priest is in relation to that perk we just discussed, Spirit Shell. Before every fight that you want to go in, hold your block until it dings, and now you can attack and still have your block. This is one of your biggest protections as a priest. Make sure that you utilize and maintain and use this at all times. It is never a bad time to put your, what we call your shell up. And even when it goes away, you still have your other block. And there is a cooldown, but it's definitely important to maintain your shell up at all times that you can. Excelling at making sure you hit all of your Heaven's Fury is a tell sign of a good priest versus a great priest. If you feel like you're not hitting enough of your Heaven's Furies, really focus on that skill. It'll help manage your mana better, as well as win more of your fights more consistently. The priest's ability to be easy to pick up and play as a new player when learning how to PvE against some of the mobs and being able to heal yourself is one of the easiest classes to dive into. At the higher end, the class has some struggles with mobility and managing resources, but once mastered allows for some of the highest end gameplay that the game has to offer. So if you're looking at the priest, it is a viable option for a new player and somebody really looking to take a deep dive into the class itself at the highest level. In terms of a rock, paper, scissors style of gameplay, the priest actually fits somewhere right in the middle of that. I would say that there are no direct classes that counter the priest, but on the flip side, there are no classes that the priest directly counters. However, the priest do have some pitfalls and weaknesses that every other class in the game has some way to exploit. Essentially, what it'll all break down into is the biggest thing that the priest lacks is mobility. Without a constant answer for gap closes on you, you're sure to feel like a wet newspaper getting blown around in a tornado. You're going to fall over very, very quickly. But if you can manage and learn the matchups around that fact, you will become an absolute demon in Greenwood. Against wizards, priests are still a victim of the massive nuke and status effects that they can dish out very quickly. However, managing your shields and a good use of your cleansing cards keep you in the fight to outlast this terrifying opponent. Against hunters, their ability to rip through shields and go through them all together is a tough task for a priest to deal with. But being able to use your vertical movements, line of sights, and your massive amounts of self-healing will give you the long-term edge in this matchup as well. The berserking warrior will find a way to you, break your shields, keep you locked down and dead in seconds. Being mindful of their abilities and how to stun them when they're trying to get close to you, and keeping them snared and just at arm's reach away from you is how you'll end up on top in this matchup. The rogue is going to be able to close the gap on you faster than any other class in the game and stop you from being able to get away and reduce your healings with their poisons and other status effects. They will suffocate you with their shadows. Using your shields effectively and cleansing their nasty toxins will keep you in the fight and ready to square up time and time again until you can really dish out enough damage to put them to rest. Priests are men of the cloth, and priest on priest violence is not condoned. Be better. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of an idea. My name again is Satorix. If you want more in-depth guides and understandings of these classes, I actually have a bunch of videos on my YouTube page, and I'm live on Twitch every single weekday. Come check me out. My name is, again, Satorix. You'll see me, I promise. And come say hi. It was very nice for Notorious to reach out and allow me the opportunity to make such an amazing video for you guys. Welcome back to Season 2. Let's have a great season. Let's have some fun. And let's go get some dubs.